Cleveland, we've got a champion, baby. That's what Stipe Miocic said after he knocked out Fabricio Werdum in Brazil in front of 45,000 fans. Cleveland hasn't had a champion in a long, long time. The Browns are terrible. The Cavs are, maybe this year. The Indians did 50 years since they've done it, and they were in the World Series for 2 of the years in the 90s. But it's been a long title drought. And though Stipe Miocic might not be that big team that the Cleveland hopeful root for, he's definitely brought in a little bit of a Cleveland following for him, and I just love that that's what he said after Fabricio Werdum charged him. He was backpedaling. Miocic was backpedaling, and just saw this small window, and man, did he throw a perfect punch. It was beautiful. It really was, and it knocked out Werdum. In the first, it was 247 in the opening round. Yeah. And look, going into UFC 198 with Anderson Silva off the card, again, in front of Brazil, which would have been great to see him back, even though he's, 41 years old. It took away some of the star power of the card, but we still had what I thought was a more dramatic couple of fights than I expected. Of course, the other big fight I would say from this was Cyborg.
Both ended in very similar fashion.
Yes.
An emphatic fashion,
yes,
in terms of how quick they were able to discard their opponent. Cyborg is a scary, scary woman in the octagon. She knows how to dominate. She knows how to be aggressive, and she knows what her strengths are. Like, her striking ability is phenomenal, and that aggression, she's able to channel it in a way that doesn't look reckless. You see many UFC fighters who are a little bit reckless in how aggressive they can be and leave themselves open. But she doesn't, and she understands that her opponent, I think from the very, very first round, was a little bit frightened. And as soon as she started throwing those punches, as I would be, petrified.
81 seconds. That's what it took for Cyborg to become that's her first UFC win. She's now 1-0 in the UFC. Yeah. And I mean, look, so the UFC women's division's strange. There's really only two. There's Joanna Jędrzejczyk's dominance over the strawweight division, and then there's the Rousey, Tate, Holly Holm trifecta in the bantamweight division. There is no featherweight division. So as of right now, at least, until more fighters come in. So what's next for Cyborg, although won't be Tate, Holm, or Rousey, even though Cyborg kind of called out Rousey. She wanted to celebrate the moment, as she said, via MMA fighting. I believe that was my moment. Tonight was my moment. It was heroic, she said in the post-fight press conference. I never thought I'd be sitting here tonight, so it'd take a lot of pictures. I never thought I'd be here after everything that I went through. It was a historic moment for me. Talking about Rousey is not something, it's something people are going to talk about, but I let my fans decide who my opponent will be, and I just be ready. Now, before she ever stepped into the octagon for the UFC. Remember last year, Rousey says, I wouldn't ever, if I was juiced up as much as Cyborg was, I'm not going to gain weight to fight her. And Cyborg always says, I'm not going to drop weight to fight Rousey. First of all, we have no idea when Rousey's fighting again, so we got to wait on that. Two, I would hope that maybe Miesha Tate or Holly Holm are interested in a catch weight, because I think that would be, again, we need one more fight out of Cyborg to really prove everything that she's worked up for to get to the UFC, which they said is against or likely to be against Darren Demi, who fought in the Netherlands instead at one of the UFC fight nights. So that seems to be the next fight for Cyborg.
Yeah, and I got to give her credit, by the way, for her post-match comment. Is like, consistently we see, whether it's Miesha Tate winning, whether it's Holly Holm. Of course, Holly Holmes was a direct repercussion of her actions over Ronda Rousey, but it still is becoming normality to include Ronda Rousey in any women's UFC win, right? Cyborg went out, won in her own accord, performed very well, deserves all the credit, and she basically stated there that my fans will make that decision for me, whether you think that Ronda Rousey should be associated in that. So I give her credit in terms of wanting to justify that this is her victory, focus on me. But then, an hour later, then she just falls into the trap because she calls out Ronda Rousey to an Instagram post.
Well, yeah,
because that's what people want.
Exactly, that's what it is. And again, that is what people want. I do, again, watching Cyborg's captivating in a different way than, at least in her one UFC fight, right? I know it's only one, so we can't get too far ahead of ourselves here. But she's captivating in a different way that she really just embodies strength. Yeah. In the it's. I had a lot of fun watching Cyborg fight, is what I want to say, and I'm looking forward to her next fights. The only other thing I wanted to talk about with UFC 198, and this one came from the preliminaries, is Demian Maia versus who defeated Matt Brown via rear naked choke. But that's not the reason I want to talk about that fight. Matt Brown's coach, ex-coach, I should say, there's a video of it, charged into the hotel the next morning and assaulted Matt Brown.
Jesus.
Take a look at this video. It's freaking wild.
Hold him for the police.
Hold him for the police.
Hold him for the police. Get him down on the ground. No. Hold him for the police. He's going to get arrested.
So basically, from MMA fighting, quote, the welterweight veteran who suffered a third-round submission loss to Demi Maia at Saturday's UFC 198 event in Brazil was allegedly assaulted by his former jiu-jitsu coach Rodrigo Badi on Sunday morning in Brown's hotel lobby, sources confirmed with MMA fighting. Badi allegedly attacked Brown from behind and then ran away. Brown's friend chased him down and was able to catch him outside the hotel. The ensuing fight was caught on tape and posted on YouTube. That is not how you want to... You lost 2 fights in the same weekend? One's not fair.
Especially your coach, man. That's one way to not deal with the loss. You motherfucker, I had all that riding on you, and you stepped in that octagon and lost. This is what I have to do to get back.
I thought that was mind-blowing, just going straight for the lobby. Wow.
But I ever think about like a jiu-jitsu coach that maybe takes the things into his own hands. I just think of like Mr. Miyagi. Who's just someone that... I don't even...
Did you see the shirt?
No, what was it?
Damn, Daniel.
I love Mr. Miyagi. Never messed with Miyagi.
Yeah.
Never messed. People
Mr. Miyagi's going to be fighting at UFC 199.
I would be interested.
Would you take him?
Yes.
Yeah.
Him against McGregor. Don't mention McGregor again. Let's relax. Relax. It was a one-off.
Comment below
I won't mention him again.
with what you thought of UFC 198. By the way, in Brazil, only one Brazilian champion remains in the UFC. And that's Rafael dos Anjos. Very interesting, at least for that. But we're looking forward to more Cyborg. Miocic gets Cleveland a championship. So let's see what you guys think in the comment section below. At Francis_Maxwell on Twitter, at JasonRuben91. All the rest of the social media is in the description box below, as well as us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, whatever. You guys know.